Robotomy is an animated series created by Michael Buckley and Joe Deasy about two non-violent teenage robots living on a planet where violence is a part of everyday life and anything apart from that is looked down at. The show aired on Cartoon Network from October 25, 2010 to January 24, 2011. The idea for the series came about after a series of failed pitches by the creators to Cartoon Network. It was back in 2007 Cartoon Network asked Buckley to create a series for the network. He then requested help from Deasy and together they came up with 5 ideas that was turned down. They came back again 6 months later with more ideas that was rejected again by the network. For their third attempt they focused on why they were rejected, trying to get into the minds of the executives, and 6 months later they were back again. At this point they were frustrated with the project, however, they pitched the rough idea they had for Robotomy, which was not called Robotomy at the time but under the working title Horrobots. Fortunately for them they didn't have to go back to the drawing board, because this time around the pitch was accepted by the network. To co-executively produce and direct the show they called upon the creator of Superjail, Christy Caracas. Robotomy was produced by World Leaders Entertainment in New York in collaboration with Cartoon Network Studios. Under Caracas's control they went for a more detailed approach with the art style which made it laborious. The lines had to be very clean, polished over more organic drawing. For the planet that the malicious robots leave on called Insanus, initially known as Killglobe, Caracas wanted it to be portrayed as a planet where the violence is never ending, which it is, so to do that they made the weaponry covering the ground, the planet to be incessantly dusky with scars all over the land. Caracas' most favorite part of development is when he's designing and diversifying the robots in regard to the size and shape. For the color of the show Caracas took inspirations from Paul Klee and Katsuhiro Otomo, as well as the concept of fluorescence. To create a bold, fresh look that reflected the universe, as they intended, the team went for a minimal approach when it comes onto the palette in order to draw the audience's attention to the line work. Also, they stayed away from using bright primary colors and opted to use more secondary colors. To accentuate the scenes they used pop colors to mimic the glow of neon lighting, and lastly, they added vertical reflections to the floors and grunge textures to the backgrounds. According to Caracas, the color plays a major part of the visuals. All of these made the show to have a high production cost. During production of the show it was occasionally in and out of production due to changing executives. Notwithstanding, Robotomy would make it past its production phase with 10 11-minute episodes made for the first season. Robotomy was announced officially on August 31, 2009 and made its premiere a year later on October 25, 2010 on Cartoon Network after Mad. The show follows two non-violent teenage robot best friends on a planet that is known for being violent. On the planet, robots are being destroyed every day for no reason, even the main characters themselves, and no one cares because that is what is accepted. There is a school that teaches them to be violent and a test they have to pass called the No Child Left Benign exam, to see how benign they are. To escape taking the exam, Thrasher and Blastus joined the Sunshine Group. It is a group where robots that are non-violent join because they are considered to have malfunctioning psycho chips. Based on the name of the group you would have thought that it is warming and comforting, but that is far from the truth. Since Insanus has a bunch of malicious robots they are put into a rocket and are blasted into the sun. Fortunately for Thrasher and Blastus they were able to escape by singing a song that is sickeningly sweet. As a result of that, one robot puked oil, another robot's head exploded and another sliced his head off, whilst the other robots screamed in terror, because the song wasn't their kind of tune. Which I think you know what their kind of song would be. So that is what they consider to be terror. The planet is so void of love that when Blastus painted a picture of him and his mother hugging she considers it to be pornography. As I've mentioned before, robots are destroyed a lot on the planet every day, also the planet itself has been destroyed too. Anyways, the robots are able to live again after being fixed to rebuild with no harm done. A few minutes later, blood is substituted for coolants. The show is so violent that during production they had to be warned repetitiously that the show will be airing on primetime, and to not make it too much like what you would find on Adult Swim. Now let's talk about the characters for a little bit. The teacher of the high school that Thrasher and Blastus attend is Dreadno. He is sadistic and finds joy in torturing his students in order to make them hyper-violent drones. Next is the principal of the school, Thunderbit, who is sweet and motherly to the students, that is when he is not causing them pain. Next we have the rich kid in school Megawatt. Megawatt is a spoiled robot that has the female robots falling all over him, albeit he blows them up. He is also in an on and off again relationship with the girl that Thrasher has a crush on. Mamie is the girl I'm talking about. Mamie is one of the most popular girls at the school, and in keeping with the norm of the planet, she is violent and hot-tempered. She barely knows that Thrasher exists. However, when Thrasher became the school's student body president in the episode El Presidente, she started dating him to become vice president and later overthrow him. Now, after Robotomy premiered, the show lasted up until January 24, 2011. After the season had run its full course, it was cancelled due to the production cost of the show being high and overseas networks not wanting to air the show, fearing that due to the high level of violence in the show and its rude, suggestive humor, it could be censored in their country. Robotomy premiere episode was watched by 1.7 million people in the United States, making it garner a 0.2 Nielsen rating for adults aged 18 to 49. The season itself received an average of 1.5 million viewers, also with a Nielsen rating of 0.2. Robotomy is Cartoon Network's shortest-run original series on the network, along with the least number of episodes. The show was then officially removed from Cartoon Network's website on February 11, 2011. Robotomy would be revived back in 2012, lasting until 2013 on Cartoon Network's Cartoon Planet block. The series was on Netflix in its entirety, that is until the early 2015. The series premiered in Canada on the Canadian version of Cartoon Network in 2015. If there's anyone watching the video that has watched Robotomy as a kid, I'm interested to know what were your thoughts of the show at that time. Was it something you deemed too graphic? Leave your answers in the comments. For now, thanks for watching.